All right, man. I think we're ready.
Sounds good, dude. I'm just chilling on my phone for right now, so I'm not near my PC or anything, but
No problem.
I might have two other people coming in from Telegram that I have, but we'll see.
Let's go.
Make any new jewelry recently yet, or
Yeah, always making some jewelry.
I
Nothing,
always
nothing,
love seeing them, dude.
nothing too crazy though. Yet,
No,
lately. No, not too crazy.
dude, I was on one of your I can't remember which YouTube video it was. I think it was your just like your most recent live trading thing, and I seen Smokey Bear commented, dude.
What'd he say? I can't even remember. Oh yeah, I
He
remember
was
that.
just like Yeah, he was just talk. I think it was after you banned him. He was saying something under there or something. He was like, "I've made 30,000 this week," and you just liked it, and you're just like, "Congrats."
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I said
I'm like,
congrats.
dude, yeah, his ego's so big, dude.
Yeah.
When you do your strategy, are you really like only doing it from like pre-market to like 9 o'clock? You would say, or
Um,
sorry, that'd be 10 o'clock your time.
I like to do it in either London session or New York. I don't really like the pre-market anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I like either London or New York session.
So
You
when
get
you do
because you
like
get a
your
lot of fake
liquidity,
you get a lot of fake outs in the pre-market.
yeah. When you're doing like looking for liquidity sweeps, are you just doing like the London high and low and then the New York high and low then if like after the orb is over?
Yeah, those are good ones, but I mean, really anything like this would be a good one. Even this, like any major levels you see, like wicks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this would have any of this, like this wick, just like some major levels.
Like where they just buy up kind of hard.
Yeah, so basically, like after it swept this, you can expect some kind of bounce up, and it bounced up to this gap. See, this is the one
Okay.
hour. This is the 1 hour time frame though. But after it swept that, it bounced back and rebalanced into this gap right here. See, it swept this, swept it, and then bounced all the way up to this gap.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I mean, anytime and when it makes a sweep, it doesn't mean it's going to reverse, but you can expect some kind of at least pullback usually, because that's where a lot of
Okay.
people are taking profits. You got to think about like if people are in shorts, where are they going to take their profits at? These lows probably. So then when it hits those lows, they get out and it bounces back up a little bit.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Cuz when they're in shorts, their take profits are buys. So they're buying it. So it's going to go up some. But yeah, let's get started here. So this is pre-market here. Just gonna kind of see what's going on, mark out some levels. See, like I marked those two lows right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to mark this gap right here. And then I'm going to fast forward it to the open. It's right now it's like 9:15. So I'm going to go forward like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see what happens at New York Open. All right. Let's see if we get, so it's going up. And you see, this could be a sweep to go lower, but
Okay.
let's just keep watching here, see what happens. Could keep going higher up to that gap. Just kind of looking for something obvious. It's going up, going up.
It's gonna sweep all of it.
Yeah. See, because I mean, you could say this right here is trend line liquidity. It's eating all this stuff up right now. That's what LRLR, low resistance liquidity run. It's when there's like a trend line going down, and then when it goes up, it like just takes out stop after stop after stop. So it just keeps going higher. And did it stop? Yeah, it swept that.
And then now you just look for the inversion, right?
Yeah. So this one I wouldn't take this first one here just because there's another one right below it. So there's this one right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is little stuff to look out for to like where it can show you like a false entry.
Yeah, so I mean, if there's two, you don't want to take the first one because there's another one right there. I mean, usually you want to look for like one major one. So you got a 2-minute one. That's why so this would be a 2-minute right here.
Okay. And that just breaks it down to one fair value gap instead of the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But this one can also be tricky too because there's like a nice level right here where, you know, you might think it wants to go up there and sweep. So this one's could be tricky. This because a lot of times it'll fake out the first fair value gap, and then it'll go back up to that level you're looking at, and then it'll make a inversion.
Gotcha.
But let's see what it does here. This is the 2-minute still. Hopefully it doesn't inverse it. It just comes up here. I'm gonna switch back to the 1-minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it just hit that big 5-minute gap, fair value gap. So this.
Okay.
So let's see what it does. And right now it's 10:03. See, so we got a nice 2-minute one right here. it's kind of big. All right. I'm going to take this 2-minute inversion.
Okay. So then what happens with, because the 3 bear candles right there just created one too, right? Or is
Yeah,
that just
so
canceling out?
yeah, so this is a fair value gap. So it's kind of good because this gives us some confluence. So this is an inversion, which means it disrespected this bullish fair value gap.
Yep.
And now it created a bearish fair value gap. So if anything, we might just get a tap into here to dump down.
Gotcha. Like a
Now,
double. Okay.
yeah. So if you get a candle closure above here, like if you get a green candle that closes through this and up like this, that's bad for the shorts
Okay.
because it's probably going to go
Okay.
higher.
Sweet. That's good to know.
Yeah. So then you would just get out.
Okay.
But
So now you're gonna wait for like a re-entry on the one fair value gap, or you can just enter off the inversion?
I mean, you could wait, but then you might not get an entry. I'm just going to enter, and then if we get a close back above here, I would close it out. And then this would be my break even at the bottom of this wick. Go to break even.
When you look for shorts, are you going for green wicks, like buy side liquidity type deal, or you just doesn't matter like what kind of wick to aim for?
So, like, your break even is always at the first internal. So this is like the first internal low right here.
Okay.
And then your targets could be like here could be a target, this wick. And then because you've got a fair value gap right here. This is a big old fair value gap. So it could want to come back down into this gap. So this right here would be a good target, this bottom wick right here. Just because on a higher time frame, this is probably one big fair value gap.
Right.
And it's probably going to want to come down and at least tap into this. I mean, it could go lower, but we don't know that,
Okay.
So my target would be right here. Like pretty much full target.
Okay.
Yeah. And this also looks good too because like that trend line liquidity like we were talking about.
Yeah.
You got some going on right here.
Nice.
But
and if that breaks to the downside, that's just gonna send it down further, right?
Yeah. Let's see here. And I could put it right here, but if I put it right there, I could get wicked out. So I'm just gonna set it up higher. But if a candle closes above there, then I would get out. But I'm putting it up higher here, so in case it gets a wick, because you could wick
like a bigger safety net.
Yeah, you could get a wick, and then it comes back and closes inside of here. So.
Okay.
Set this auto break even 19,513.
That's kind of cool. I've never seen the FX replay backtest.
Yeah. This is my first time using it. I'm actually doing a trial on it. I usually just do it on TradingView, but
yeah, that's what I've been doing. Doesn't Project X have a built-in one?
I don't know. I don't even know. All right, let's see if this plays out. Let's see. All right, so I'm at break even here.
Yep.
So this is a break even trade. At least. So that's good. It's a free trade. And now if it comes all the way down here, we get the take profit.
Now, do you ever move like your take profits if price is just really just sinking? Like, cause you have that huge fair value gap at the bottom. Would you just like
Now
slide your take profit down and move your stop loss to trail it almost,
it depends.
or just take?
It depends like what kind of accounts I'm trading. If I'm doing an Apex account, then I'll just usually take it all out when I'm get my base hit each day because of the
Okay,
and now because they have consistency rules. If I'm doing something like Top Step, I'd close like half here and then leave a runner if I'm kind of sure it
gotcha.
would continue to go down. But on Apex and like anything with consistency rules, usually all you
Mm-hmm.
need each day is that base hit. So I would just take that base hit and then just close
Okay,
the whole thing.
sweet.
Yeah. So let's see if it hits the full target. Ooh,
Damn,
break even.
that's all right.
But I
We're
bet I,
saving
bet- I
capital.
bet it probably continues down. Let's see. Nope. See, saved us.
Damn,
How many points was this? See
that was
that
still
that
38 points.
yeah,
Dang,
that would have been plenty.
yeah.
38
Yeah, dude,
points.
when I've been backtesting your stuff, it really like made me realize like the whole 10 points up and down thing that I do, like it's just bad entries almost. Like you're not really planning out where your stop loss is. Like I just strictly went off of an SMA and then would just enter long if it would close through, kind of like how your inversions do, but it was just hit or miss.
Yeah. Now usually like if I was on an Apex account and I was in one mini, like I would have been out of this because the 38 points,
Right.
you know, that's
Yeah, that's
that's
600 something.
that's plenty. But yeah, let me see. Okay, we got a 1 minute here. Now if it does this one here,
And now you're entering off that one because it's just swept our previous high, right?
hmm. Yeah, I do kind of like this. We got an inversion right here. And remember,
Price to hide it.
like I said earlier, the first one would be usually kind of like a fake out, and then it'll sweep it one more time.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of what happened here. So I'm gonna try this again.
So now I would just do like a full take profit at your break even line almost, right?
Well, I would still go break even right here. But
Okay.
but yeah. So I would still go break even right here. And then I would actually move this down.
Dude, weird question. Have you ever heard of these Labubu things?
What's a labubu?
It's like something that's been going like completely like super hyped up. It's like something like a kid's toy almost, but like all these women and stuff are like they're just fantasizing over them. It's like did you ever see the movie like Wild Things? I think is what it's called, or Where the Wild Things Are. It's like a bunch of monsters in some forest or something.
Uh-uh.
Yeah,
I've heard.
it could just sound super funny, but I don't know. There's just like this huge thing going out, and I'm trying to get one for my girlfriend, and it's super hard to get them. It was just seeing if you've ever heard of them or not.
Nah, I'm gonna have to look it up. Is it something
Yeah,
I
you
should get
should.
my girlfriend?
Dude, it would be a good gift for her, probably. Yeah, they're super hard to get though, dude. Like You either got to buy them on TikTok where like people are selling them for way more than they really go for because they're out of stock every time they like bring in more. Like they bring in 10,000 boxes. I think it's every other Thursday, and people literally just wait for it and buy them out of stock in like minutes, dude. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, look them up. Peyton might even know, dude. Like that'd be hilarious. Yeah, you'll go down a huge rabbit hole trying to get one. So just fair warning.
Yeah, I need to go look. This one lost.
Where's the London high and low here?
It's down here. Let's see.
Did it sweep the low and maybe aim for longs?
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cold. It feels nice though. So damn hot out.
Yeah, you see it.
Fucking jeans.
It swept the high. See, we were
Down
entering.
around midnight though.
We were in right there at the high.
Carly and Brinley, these bitches are slow, bro.
Sorry, say that again, Slade.
Nah, I said it. That's the high. Right, that's a London high right there.
Oh, so it is sweeping the London high.
Could be going up for the Asian high.
I forget to always mark the Asia high. Does it ever respect it as much as the London, or is London favored over the Asia session?
No, it's important. Sometimes a lot of times it sweeps both.
Okay.
Let's see, what time is it? 10:50. So I really wouldn't even be looking for another trade here. I usually like to take my trade in between 9:30 and 10:30. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna go to the next session.
Yep.
Just say was one loser for today.
Why is it so hot? I hate this weather. It's getting ridiculous.
Boom. It's the London high.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
Is that all you got left in here?
Yeah, dude.
Really? I haven't seen it. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Good thing I found that stuff in my truck then.
I don't really know. Once you run out, there's nothing you can do with it.
So now would you say this is like in a range? Because it stunk as soon as it did to that other high.
Yeah. Just respecting that fair value gap right there. Man, what would look nice here is a sweep and then an inversion back up. sweep below this, but let's see.
Oh yeah, do it. Yeah. Now come back up. Left is.
Right now.
What's the highest time frame you'll go on for like to look for the fair value gaps, or does it not matter really?
I like to do it in between 1 and 5s, but like I'll go to 15 and 30 just to find like targets or see if it's bouncing out of one, but I won't take a trade on the 15 or 30. Like
Okay.
I'll take a trade based on usually 1 to 5 minute.
Okay.
See, like this is a 5 minute.
Yeah, that's a beautiful inversion.
Yeah, let's give it a try.
So now for this one, would you just go right below the fair value gap, or would you go below the equal lows there?
Where? For what?
For your stop loss?
Yeah, it's always a close below the gap.
Okay.
So like if a red candle closes down here, then I'd get out.
Okay.
And you see like a safe break even would be like right here. So I mean you could go to break even right there. Probably get
I would
stopped.
just do it right now.
Yeah, I mean it probably just get you probably get stopped at break even on this trade, but we'll go to it.
You're the profitable one though, so you do you, dude. I'm here to look and watch.
It's probably I'm just saying it's probably gonna be a break even. But maybe it just runs. Let's see. Yeah, break even.
Damn. This is why we don't listen to me. We listen to you. We gotta hit the break even like more than twice, though.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have went break even right there just because I would be so confident in this trade here.
See, that's my problem. I think too is when I get into a trade, dude, I get excited to just get that green. So like I try to just make it a risk-free trade as soon as possible,
Yeah.
and that could be what's kind of me up to. But I don't know.
Yeah, because a lot of times the break even can save you, but it can also hurt you. Like here, it would have hurt. But
Yeah,
but you
that's
just
how many points? 110.
yeah, because this on a 5 minute, so this would have been a micro trade, like the one from the other day when I did that 5 minute trade. I entered that on some micros.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's go to the next session.
What's up? So this is Devin's friend. How's it going?
What's up, man? How's it
what's
going?
up?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hey, so I'm trying to get into like Devin's kind of showed me a little bit of what you do, but is there like some videos that kind of just go over like the basics of what you're looking for, like the first thing you get on the chart and mark up and stuff? Or?
Yeah, Dodgy, if you know Dodgy on YouTube has some really good videos. But basically you're looking for like obvious highs or lows. So that's the first thing you want to mark up. So we marked up this high and this low right here were some obvious ones. That's the first thing you want to mark out. These obvious highs and lows, and usually a lot of times it's going to be London session highs and lows. So that's what like we talk about a lot. London session is the time is 3 a.m. to, well, this is the times I do 3 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. and then I mark out the high. So like this was the high from 3 a.m. to 9:30 because 3 a.m. was somewhere in here, and then it went up, made this high, and then started coming down until 9:30, which this was the
And
low.
those are just like your targets, like your liquidity targets?
Yeah, so I wait on a sweep of one of those usually. So like here it went under, swept the low. So then I was looking for a long back up. Cuz if you go back and look at the charts, a lot of the times it'll sweep that previous session low or high and then it'll reverse back and a lot of times go all the way to the other side. But it doesn't always go to the other side, so I just take a I don't target that all the way. But
So
usually
you just wait for one of those to happen, and then like look for a liquidity sweep, and then you look for fair value gaps going in the opposite direction.
yeah, so this is called an inversion. So this is a fair value gap. You see how this wick right here? You see it?
Yeah. I'm kind of. I mean, I'm not new to trading, but I'm kind of new to it.
Okay, yeah. So basically this
Catch me
candle
up.
this candle closed above that gap. So then I would be looking for a long, or I would get in a long.
Okay.
I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go for like 5 minutes quick.
All right, man.
But you always wait for it to do a liquidity sweep before you start looking for those fair value gap trades.
Yeah, I have a plan. Like so it doesn't have to be these session highs and lows, but I want it to be very obvious. So like this one's obvious here, so even if it came up and swept this high right here, I may look for a short. Just cuz that's like super obvious there.
Yeah.
So I would either look for it to sweep one of those or like a 15 or 30 minute fair value gap. If it taps into one, usually you can get a nice reversal move from there.
Okay.
So like here, you see this is a 30-minute gap and it came into it and then went back higher. But I mean, this yeah, but it's also a sweep too cuz it swept some stuff here. So like if you drop down, these would be some wicks, so it would have swept those and then went up higher.
Okay. Most of your strategy though is pretty much sweep liquidity, and then you just trade off of the inversions.
Yep. Wait on a liquidity sweep and then get an inversion back up.
Okay.
And you try to get in pretty low here. So like if an inversion happened like up here, I probably wouldn't even enter just because it already moved back up a lot. You see, like I would have liked it even better if we got like a 1 minute inversion like right here. That would have looked really good.
Yeah.
I like the 1 minute inversions the best, but this was a 5 minute one.
So that was an inversion down there though, right? Just like went right through the fair value gap.
No, this was an inversion because there's. I mean, this one could be a fair value gap, but it's so tiny that it could be.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see those two wicks at first. Gotcha.
Yeah. But let's. I'm gonna go to the next session. See. And let's mark it out again. So this would be London low.
Then he also showed me you trade like a lot of like the trend lines, like the diagonal trend lines and stuff too, right?
Yeah, I like doing those. But it's kind of hard to do both of them at the same time. Like you either, when you're coming on the charts, kind of got to look for one or the other.
Okay. Yeah, my problem. So I've been learning to trade for like a year and a half. But my problem is like I like I've learned so many different things that it's just I don't have like one single thing that I'm good at. It's just like a mix of everything to where like it's all jumbled up, you know?
See, that's what I would that's what I used to do. But now I just try to focus on one thing. So I'm pretty much just focusing on the inversions now. I mean, I can trade with any of them, but it's better to focus on one, because if you're looking for all of them, you're gonna just get confused.
Yeah, that's
Most of the
totally
time.
it. Like I brought like a friend of mine into my team, and I feel like I can teach him better than I know, because I'm just like if if I was starting fresh, I would just learn like one thing at a time and just stick with it until it was profitable, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was showing Devin some things like when he first started, like I was showing him supply and demand, and then now like he's showing me everything. Like he's learning this stuff so much faster than I did.
Hey, don't be jinxing it now.
He's back.
He's back.
No, I'm not the best, dude. I'm still unprofitable. You're talking to Slade. He's profitable. I'd listen to anything this dude says over me. Him and Biblical. Biblical is really good too.
Well, I mean the main thing is just about like taking cheap trades. Like if after a huge move down like this, I wouldn't really be looking for a short down here. I'd mainly just be looking for longs. Because I mean, after a slam down like this, I mean, what are the better odds? Are the better odds that it keeps going, or that it comes back up some? This is how I like to trade.
And I've learned like my biggest thing that I'm trying is or that I've been doing that's been successful is Elliott waves. But Elliott waves are more just like a roadmap, you know. So I need something inside of those to trade, you know.
Yeah.
So, hey guys,
What's up, man?
what are we looking at here?
We're just doing a little back testing. We're doing a little back testing. Right now it's 9:57 here.
Is that Friday?
No, this is on April 4th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just went back and picked up some random days. But I mean, now it's just kind of in the middle here, diddling in the middle. So I would usually either wait on like a sweep of this area or this area to look for
Isn't
something.
it really helpful? Just my 2 cents. Do you have on this chart the previous day high and low?
I don't know.
I was just curious, just because it's hard to look back for me, anyways, just FYI, I'm not saying I'm right on everything. I'm just saying if I was going to back test on any strat, I would see where the pivot points were on previous day high and low, where it was in previous day high and low, and where the levels are overnight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of just like what is the main points here? Because I mean, we have an obvious. This is obvious low right here, obvious low right here, obvious high. So I mean, I don't put too much emphasis on the labels. You know, the labels are usually, you know, those points there. So I guarantee you, like, this is gonna be some kind of, yeah, that's gonna be a London low right there. So I just usually do it by eye because this is going to be a key point. If it sweeps, and this right here is going to be a key point, you know?
Border Protection. This location has repeatedly increased the harmless illegal blinking carefully. In a statement, they said, quote, intelligence indicates the smuggling network has trafficked individuals from
Hey,
adversarial
bro, you turn your TV down.
Yeah.
national security.
So right now you're looking for that right there,
Yeah.
and then to go long on off of that inversion.
And you see how, like, when it swept this level right here, it got a little push back up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're looking for. This would be like a higher time frame low like this right here. And then hopefully we get a push back up like this, just on get in on a lower time frame, and then we get a bigger move.
Okay. When you're looking for like those obvious liquidity spots where you're putting your lines, you always do that on like the 1 or 5 minute, or are you marking them up on higher time frames?
You can do it on both. And like Biblical said, there's indicators that'll give you those previous day high and London high and lows. I usually do the indicators, but on here they just don't have them on this back
Okay.
testing thing. But they have indicators and stuff for that that'll mark out the highs and lows. But then they'll also sometimes there'll be more highs and lows besides those that you can look for.
But you're just looking for those like on the time frame that you're trading on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you see this one here. I mean, I like it, but my break even spot would be so close. Like, I would go break even right here. So it'd probably be a break even trade.
Well, that's a good 30 something points though, isn't it? Like, because your stop loss would be under that fair value gap, wouldn't it?
Yeah. This was when all the tariff stuff was going on, so these moves are huge.
Yeah, I've actually been trading London lately because I don't know. I traded it a couple times, and I'm like, man, it's so much nicer because there's not all this like huge moves just for manipulation. It's just like pretty smooth, you know.
Yeah. Like, look at it. Like, this is crazy moves here.
That next candle is definitely gonna have to create a fair value gap, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's a gap right there. That's why I kind of don't like this trade. I'm not gonna take this one. Hope it goes back down.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna go back down. That's too much of one candle.
See.
What? No way, it
Yeah.
doesn't. That's
But
wild.
the only reason I liked it, but my break even spot was right here. So I would have got taken out probably. I don't know what this
I go
candle
for
did.
hedges.
But yeah, I did. Yeah. But you see, swept that. Now it's coming back up. Boom.
Crazy.
See, now I kind of would like this right here, though. See, because it's delivering from this gap. So it's bouncing from this one. And then if this one would have inversed on that candle, man, that'd look nice there too. And
Hey, what date is that? What date?
April 4th.
Okay, I want to look at something while you're watching it.
Yep. But that was it right there. That was I should have taken it. So I wouldn't even look for anything else just because it's 11:30.
How do you determine where your break-even spots are?
The first internal high or low after the gap. So like here's one right here. Let me zoom in. So this is an inversion right here. And then this first wick right here. Break even.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So you go to break even there and then have your target like right there, but it didn't get a hit. So that would have been break even.
Oh, dude,
Okay.
I'm getting hyped, bro.
Do what?
Said I'm getting hyped. When are these markets opening?
Yeah. Me too.
When you do your entries, Slay, like for fair value gaps, is there times where like you won't enter just because the stop loss is so big, or will you just still play like a safety net and just move to break even when you get the chance?
Yeah, there's times I won't enter. So like if it closes way high above and my target isn't like a 1-to-1, sometimes I'll wait
Yeah.
on a retest of the gap. So
Okay.
yeah, so there'll be a lot of times. Let me see if I can find a good one that does it. But a lot of the times when you get an inversion, it'll come back up and retest it. Like this one retested this a lot here.
Yeah, it did. Okay.
So it closed down here, and then you could play the retest. I mean, you could always put your order at the retest, but just sometimes you won't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have honestly gotten wicked out on that.
Yeah, you got a size small enough to where you don't get wick. Only if it Well, these moves here are huge because this was when tariffs were going on. So like these candles were like this was a crazy time to trade here. This candle's 30 points.
Jeez.
Yeah. Let me see.
Those are that was the time where when you saw profit, you should take profit because it could like wick
Yeah,
so fast.
this was crazy. This was a few months ago.
It's crazy what one man can do.
All right, let me see if I can find something today. So the New York session hasn't even opened yet. All right.
But you can, yeah, okay.
See, like if it swept this or this, I might start looking really this for a long. It doesn't have to come all the way down to this London low down here. Like this is a noticeable low that if it swept that, it could reverse in my eyes at least.
Okay. What's more telltale signs of like a liquidity sweep point of interest? Like what makes it like a viable liquidity sweep? Like big sudden movements when you get closer to it, or
What do you mean? You mean what makes this line right here?
like yeah, why does that low stand out for a sweep instead
So
of the one above it with
so
that big candle?
I mean that one stands out too, but I mean you could mark that one too. But basically, if you just zoom out and back away from your chart, just the lows that stand out the absolute most, pretty much. Like
Okay.
this one, that low. I mean, I could see that from a mile away. That
Right.
one, I mean, that one you can see. I mean, so you can mark that one. But, and let's see here. Which, I mean, yeah, it could reverse here. But like I said, like ideally, I'd want it to come down here. But I mean,
Okay.
it could easily sweep this and reverse. But just I'd feel better if it swept this,
Okay.
you know.
So no, yeah, I'm just curious because I want to make sure I'm doing the same thing that you are and marking up the right ones.
Yeah, I mean it could even reverse right here after sweeping this, you know.
Okay.
But
So what makes you feel better about that one rather than like going down to like a lower one?
so this one makes me feel better just because than this one because it's got this is kind of like an inefficiency. I bet you if you jump to a higher time frame, that's like a gap. And if it comes down here, tap into this gap and then go back up, would make me feel better. Let me see. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you think that it would just
15-minute gap? It could, but that's why we look for the inversion. So if it sweeps this, I'm not just going to enter just because it sweeps it. I'm going to wait on an inversion to happen.
Okay.
Because because if it was going to keep going down, it shouldn't make an inversion because it should respect the fair value gap.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so like here's like it wants to keep going lower, so it's respecting these gaps on the way down. See, like it went above it, but the body closed below it still, so it's going down. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah, so respecting the gaps coming down. All right, let's see. And now it could either do an inversion here or keep going down to the lows. So let's see what it wants to do. All right, I'll take this. And this wouldn't be my stop, so I'm just putting it there. Because if the next candle, it could wick below this gap and then come back up, but it doesn't do it in real time. So it waits till after the candle. So if this next candle closes below here, red, then I'm gonna close the trade. So it didn't close below there yet, but you did wick down. You see how it held it? See, it didn't close it didn't close below there. So this, even though it wicked all the way down here, that's why I put my stop down here. Because it can wick all the way down here. But as long as before the candle closes, it holds this gap, it's still good. But
see, for me on that, like when I was doing it, I would have put my stop loss like below the green body instead of the wick.
yeah, no. You see, if this candle right here would have closed a little bit farther down, then I would have just closed the trade manually. I would
Gotcha. So
close.
that's where you.
Yeah, cuz I mean, when it inverses like this, you don't want to see it close back below it, because then it's the trade's just invalid anyway.
Okay.
But
That's good to know.
yeah, but now, I mean, this is a huge move, so I'm not really, like, when I'm back testing here on these charts, I'm not really looking at the moves, because this was in April and I would have been trading micros, and like, these moves are too big. So I'm just going off of structure right now. So structure, that would have been break even. Like TP1 would have probably been right there. Would be right here. Dang, stupid. TP1. I clicked it like 3 times, dude. And
yeah, it was dragging it, I think.
Yeah, and then like I could hold like a runner all the way up to here, but this was TP. Yeah. So let's see.
Oh yeah, look at her run, dude. Sheesh,
Yes, sir.
what the heck, dude?
Yes, sir. That's how it's done right there, buddies. Boom, all the way.
Crazy.
But you see why I don't put like so much, like biblical is saying, so much emphasis on the indicators of the lows and the highs. This is why, because this was the low, and if I waited on a sweep all the way for the low down here, then I would have missed this trade. So
you wouldn't have even taken a trade.
Yeah, I like to do it like mainly by if I back my chair up from the screen 10 feet away, I like to mark out those lows and highs that you can obviously see.
Hey, can you go to the 15-minute right there?
Yep.
See, I would have taken that trade, and you can see why.
Yeah, I said this earlier. I said these are some gaps right here.
Right. Yes. That 15-minute would have been marked out. It hit the top of the box, and it never closed below it.
Yep.
So now, would you take a short back down if it inversed?
No, I'd be done for today.
That's what makes Slade a good trader. He knows that when you overtrade, you lose.
Yeah, I'd be done for today. I would be done. I mean, especially after a trade like this, dude. I mean, like I'm happy. Like even if I just catch the first TP trade, I'm done for the day. You know?
And what else
Right.
makes him a good trader is that when he does lose, he doesn't try to make it back right away because you're not in the right state of mind.
Oh yeah, that's a
where I've
fact.
been
That's where you
before.
get tilted. That's called
That's right.
Yeah.
That most traders don't blow their accounts by badly trading. Well, they do, but it's because of the tilt. Like they lose most people lose their accounts in one day, not over weeks of trading.
Most people lose their account in 5 minutes.
Exactly.
After having
I
it
was
for
thinking,
days and days because they lose their mind.
Yeah. But this right here is why me and Biblical take a lot of the same trades, because a lot of ours line up, you know.
Yep. We just see it. We talk about it differently, and we kind of like my explanation would be a little different than yours because I would mark out that 15-minute. Because if you can look left, where did those 15-minute candles all stop? Over here. No, right here in that box, right there.
Yeah. Would you mark out from this one or just this one?
Just the one above, yeah, right there. Now go over, bring that box over. You guys, that's the consequent encroachment of that 15-minute. If you see it do that 3 times and never go below, dude, that's a, and plus you had the other confluence, which was the lower time frame confluence.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's so much in that's why you have to look at multiple time frames. Me personally, you can't just look at one, otherwise you might get in too early or too late.
Oh, y'all won't believe what happened yesterday. I gotta tell you a funny story.
Let's hear it.
thanks for showing us that, Biblical. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You won't believe what happened yesterday at my nephew's baseball game.
He slam a home run.
Well, no, they played good, but they hit a walk-off home run the second game. But in the first game, they beat the team 23-2, and yeah. But it's not like it's not like we were stealing and bunting and all kind of stuff. The kids were just hitting the ball, and after it's like we weren't even sending them. Like they would hit. You know, we could have kept sending them home and stuff, but the third base coach was holding them up. So we were being respectful. But I'm walking out of the fields, and one of their parents was behind me, just talking loud, and he was like, "That was the most classless baseball I've ever seen in my life. How are you going to be up 22 runs and you're still swinging for the fences?" And dude, I turned around and I was like, did you want them to tell the kids to go up there and try to strike out? And he was like, "You don't want none of this, bro. You don't want none of this." And I just said, and I just said, "Oh, okay." And then I just walked away. But I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude."
Dude, those little league. I have a nephew that plays Super League. He's 12 years old. He's been playing since he was 5. But man, the parents get crazy, dude. Dude, calm down. It's a game. It might have been a strike. He called it a ball. Don't go and spit at the umpire.
And guess what? None of those kids are going to be a pro baseball player.
Well, I don't know. There's this one girl on our team. She's good, dude. She hit a walk-off bomb yesterday.
Wow,
Nice.
And she
Dude, my nephew's team's pretty good. They just went to the Field of Dreams like last month and played like a tournament there in Iowa. They
Yeah.
got in second place.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, dude. It's cool to see them because they sucked. Like they've all been on the same team since they were like 5, and they sucked so bad for so long. Like it was just like they were the team that was 2 and the other team was 23. You know,
Really?
but now they're finally like it's starting to come together.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's fun to see.
I watched one of my buddies' kids play soccer, and that was kind of entertaining to watch.
Yeah. My other nephew plays soccer, dude, and he's like the most uncoordinated kid you've ever seen.
It's
So
funny
funny.
though. It's all fun.
Yeah.
So when I was telling you guys, I was setting my charts up for Sunday night. I was marking all these things that I already got it all marked. Like if you look at Friday's price action, right, on a 15-minute chart, you guys can you can guess where my box is. I mean, you can see it now. It's like clearly. It you cannot unsee it once you get used to doing it. If you look at a 15-minute chart, you can really see where I'm looking. That's my major level for tonight, to see how it reacts there at the bottom of that box or the middle of that box.
Just that fair value gap that's right below the last 3 candles.
We'll look at the 15-minute chart and look left and look at all the 15-minute candles that couldn't even get into it. Didn't even go below it. Didn't even go into it until 1645. So it was just, so now, well, that's support clearly for the last, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So almost 3 hours and 15 minutes. I wouldn't
Are you talking
trade it
about
until
consolidation there?
yeah, that's consolidation for 3 hours and 15 minutes. But it never went below the that 15-minute gap or fair value gap that you're looking at it never even went into it at 1555. Let's see, what was that? Let me, what time frame? Oh, I'm on the wrong time frame. Excuse me. Okay, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 15-minute candles at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
that's where I drew my box. I want to see how it reacts tonight. If it closes below it, then I'll look for another play. But
Because there's 2 fair value gaps like stacked right there.
yeah, there is. But you gotta only play one at a time. I mean, you can't play them both. You have to wait. You have to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to wait to see how it reacts here.
But on a 30-minute, then it's just 1.
Sure.
So you mostly trade on the 15-minute, biblical, or
I during different person, like I had explained, I think to somebody, I can't remember who, the market personality changes. Like before, like when he was doing this back testing right now on April, it was a different market than it is right now. So you have to adjust what you're looking for based on that.
Gotcha.
but you're, he'll always say, I would take this trade 10 out of 10 times. And if I lose, 3 out of 10 times, I'm profitable. And you're most likely profitable if you have a 50% win rate because your stop loss is, you're cutting losses quicker than you're cutting your winners. It's really
Yeah, a lot of your wins are 3 to 1.
Yeah.
2 to 1, 3 to 1.
So I took this trade here. There's a break even. Well, I closed 50% at this week.
So how come? Let's see.
But this bounced from the 15-minute there. I took it on that too. 15-minute gap, and then got an inversion.
Well, let me ask you something. When you take a trade, how long till you say I need to move my stop into profit?
Well, I'm just going on this April stuff by market structure, but usually at this first, my trades are usually pretty quick to take some profit. So here I'm at break even, and then at here I would be taking some profit.
Mm-hmm.
And usually around this point here, it's about 10 points today, at least, today's wise. So at 10 points, I'm taking some profit usually.
Yeah.
10 points. Like in today's market structure, I would say this move here is about 10 points. Now
you'd be in one mini today.
Yeah, usually I'm in one mini, and I'm usually taking the full thing at 10 points unless unless I'm trading like a Top Step or something. But Apex, 10 points, I'm taking the 10 or 15, taking the full amount.
Mm-hmm. You said you do one mini with Apex?
Yeah. Well, it depends. Okay. Like if in April back here, I was probably doing like 3 micros. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't really. Yeah, because let me see how much this move was here.
What was the ATR? What was the average true range versus now?
See, like that move there was 54 points in April. Today, that's like 10.
And that's a 1 minute candle?
Yeah, these are 1 minute candles.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Anything above 20 points in a 1 minute candle is pretty volatile.
The ATR, I don't know how to. Was it 38?
It's an indicator. It's pretty easy. There's an indicator.
It's right here. It says 38.
Oh yeah. You can put it on a daily too, and it'll show you each day's ATR.
Yeah, I see Alpine using it. But what does 38 mean? It's moving.
The average true range for a 1 minute candle was 38 points.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so if you look at today versus last week, what was it? That would be interesting.
It's like 15 or 20 now. I use that indicator.
Yeah.
That's the average size of the candle?
That's the average move.
Yeah, so if it says 40, it's 40 points in one candle on 1 minute.
Yeah. People can't survive that. You can't. Mm-hmm. You just can't, because that's both ways, man. That's why I've been super careful, because I don't know what Trump's going to say next that's going to move the freaking market.
Do you ever trail your stop loss, Slade?
Yeah, I used to. Now with this, yeah, I trail it sometimes. Like if I'm going for, that 10 points, usually I don't have to. But say I'm going for like a, if I'm leaving a runner on, then yeah, I'm trailing it.
Yeah. Okay.
But 10 points, it's usually either a win, loss, or break even. And then if I'm going for like on if I'm trading a Top Step account, then yeah, I trail them for sure. Because sometimes I go for bigger moves on Top Step, just because there's no consistency rule. And yeah, I trail it.
If you're doing like TP2, TP3, do you just always move it like once it hits TP2, you move your stop loss to TP1, or you just
not really to TP1. I just kind of like say if it's going up, and then if there's somewhere I can move it, then I like if there's a gap, I'll put it kind of like below the gap, stuff like that.
okay.
Do you see order blocks at all?
No, not really. I don't really look for those.
Okay, because sometimes those act as support or resistance.
What would that be? Somewhere like right in here?
Let me see. I gotta get up close. Let me see. I want to show you one where it act. Okay, here's one right here. Go right a little, just a teeny bit more. Can you go right? Oh yeah, stop. Okay. Okay, here. See this green, the red, green, and red candle right here towards the first third on the left side. The small, that's an order block right there. Where?
Right here?
Oh no. Go up a little. Okay, to your right, to your right, to your right. Okay, stop. Keep going, keep going.
Hang on,
Right
let
there.
me.
Ooh.
Right
ooh,
here?
There. Go right about 10 candles. Keep going right there. Right there. So you see that red candle, that green candle, and that red candle?
Yeah.
That little green candle is an order block. Keep going. Yeah.
Right
So
here?
you can see, yeah. No, to the left. 2 candles to the left.
Right
there,
here.
right there. Yeah. So look what happened. It went up. Those 2 red candles respected it, and then it ripped up.
Yeah. So if I was in a I mean mine wouldn't be too far away from that.
Yeah.
I just kind of do it below the lows. So if I'm in a long, kind of put my stop. I mean somewhere like that, and then if it came up, probably move it up below this one after it made that low, stuff like that.
So once for me, if I had have seen that, if I had been in this trade, I would have moved my stop just below that order block after those red candles rejected it.
Mm-hmm.
I always look at order blocks like as like small consolidations in the middle of a move.
Yeah, a lot of times they're created also below your move before you even get in, so you can use them. But there's a million different freaking strats. There's a million different ways. And it's always good to have lots of bullets in your holster.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Slade is like I have too many. Like I feel like I have way too much going on in my head that it's like I see somebody else and I'm like, holy crap, they make it look so simple, and to me it's just like all
And
a
how
giant.
long you been doing it?
Like 15 months.
So totally typical that you would have too many. Now you need to find the one that you like the best and just master it.
Yeah, easier said than done.
Totally. Trading's hard.
I've been pretty, like Devin knows, I've kind of done pretty well with I've been learning Elliott waves for the last few months, and I feel like that's probably like my best strategy right now. But there's a lot that you can do inside of those. So
You stick with it then if you like it, because sometimes, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
what are you gonna say, Devin?
No, I was just saying Elliott waves are your thing, and then I didn't mean to cut biblical off.
Oh no, I was saying, yeah, stick with it then. If they're your thing, I think you should do it.
Yeah, they're fun.
I know not one thing about them because I found a thing that I like, so I just do it.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time, guys. I've spent more money than all of you. I can guarantee you. I'm learning to do this. That's what I'm
How long
trying.
have you been doing?
That's why I'm sewing. That's why I'm being passionate about trying to help people not spend as much money before getting profitable. I mean, because I'm the biggest loser in here.
All right, so I
It's
took this one here. It's at least a break even here. I marked out this high and it broke it, and then on this 1 minute got an inversion right here. I like it because I like a lot of times when it makes this move up and then it comes down like it's gonna make an inversion, and then boom, it spikes it one more time. I like that a lot. And then got an play right here, so it's at least a break even. It swept this low, or it took out this low, so I'm at break even. Probably I hope I don't get stopped at break even, but got some LR right here. Could come down.
What's that?
It's basically a trend line. So we got a trend line. Trend line liquidity. It means low resistance liquidity run. That means that once it starts taking out these stops, it just goes to the next one. Takes it out, booms, immediately boom, 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 and then you're at the bottom.
And do you notice what time of day it is when some of these moves happen all the time?
10 o'clock reversal.
10 o'clock, 9:30.
Yeah, 9:30 is tough because it's still doing the direction, deciding, where it wants to go, either take the high or the low. But 10 o'clock, it's like, jeez, it seems like it's always reversing that last 10 minutes.
Dude, I wish I could trade 10 o'clock just at my computer at home.
Same.
10:15 is really awesome too.
Yeah. You want to know? You want to know when my reversal candle is?
What?
4 o'clock a.m.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
It's true. I just can't get up.
Same.
Because 3 o'clock's the open, usually around 4 o'clock, or sometimes 3:30. 3:30 till 5, you get kind of a reversal. I look for it in between there.
I know. It's really good.
Why do you trade pre-market?
I don't really like trading pre-market. I was doing it earlier just because I was on
3 o'clock is?
Yeah, no, 3 o'clock's the London session.
Okay.
A month ago, I was trading the pre-market just because more people were getting on YouTube and stuff, and it was just fun because I was like playing some music and stuff. But if I'm really trying to make some money, like even when I was streaming during that pre-market, I was still waking up at 3 a.m. and trading my accounts. Just because I know in London session it's probably going to reverse a lot of the time, just like in New York session. After it moves one way, you get some kind of reversal. A lot of times at 10 a.m. I know in London session, after it makes its first move, it'll usually get some kind of reversal or pullback that I can catch.
So you usually go live?
Reverses at that time, actually.
Do what?
It's nice to know that it reversals at that time.
Yeah,
You usually trade London Open?
I'm on for the London Open, but I usually just sitting and watching it. So at 3 a.m. I'm kind of watching, kind of look at mark out the Asian low and highs, and then just mark out my levels. And then I usually kind of put out and get in my head like what I want to see happen. Like if I want it to sweep this area and then look for an inversion. I'm kind of planning it out while it's opening up. And I want to kind of have a plan in my head what I want to happen and then look for that to happen, So if it was right here, I'd say, hey, for me to take a trade, I wanted to go sweep these highs up here, kind of like what we did. I wanted to go sweep these highs and then get an inversion back down, something like that.
Okay.
I'm not just going to take any inversion that I see happen, I kind of want to, like we say, you have these areas of interest, like biblical has the fair value gaps. You just have these areas of interest, like liquidity sweep. It'd be nice if there was a fair value gap up here, stuff like that. You just have these areas where you look to enter at.
So would you have gotten in that, like to the left of where your like right there on that inversion? Would you have gotten in there?
No. The reason is because if you go to a higher, you look for a singular fair value gap. See, there's more down here. So I went to the 2 minute here, and you see this is one big gap right here. You kind of want it to be one clean, so I kind of change up the time frames until I get one clean one. So there's one clean one. So if it would have inversed this one, then I would have probably entered, but it didn't.
Okay.
Yep. And then it came back
so
up.
The 1 minute it did, but the 2 minute it wasn't as clean.
The 1 minute's not as clean because it's got multiple gaps here. You see, it's got a gap down here.
Yeah.
And then a gap right here, and then a gap right here. So I mean, if you're gonna only stay on the 1 minute, you just need to mark out the lowest one, I guess, like this one, or the highest one if you're looking for longs. But now I hope this one holds on this bearish one, and it didn't. See, but that was a break even. So you're just chopping around. See, like a lot of that's why I go to break even though, because once it does this, if it's gonna go, it usually goes pretty fast. And when you won't, you know what I'm saying? Like usually when it's a clean inversion, it'll go fast and quick. This one's just chopping around. All right, let me see. You see, and on this day here, what is this? The 10th, April 10th. Like, there's a huge gap right here. So, that would be a target for sure. Like, I would think price is going to probably come somewhere in this gap. Just because eventually.
So would you trade that one on the 15 minute?
I wouldn't. I mean, what do you mean trade it? Like if it came up and swept this high, I might kind of have that as a target or something.
Okay.
I don't think either out of Slade or me actually enter trades on a 15-minute time frame.
No.
We notice things on 15-minute time frames and mark them out, but I would always trade on the 1 minute.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good explanation.
So when you mark that 15 minute, what do you do on the 1 minute with that?
So it just stays there, so then you can see it.
And then that's what you use, like that's the fair value gap you're using to like either respect or invert.
That's me. Yes, I see where it closes on the higher time frame too, but I'll know what it is. I mean, because every 15 minutes is the end of the start of a new candle.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
do
why
the
it's
same thing.
easier. That's why it's easier for me on the 15-minute, because I can mark a 15-minute, the closest 15-minute that it's been staying above, and then see how it reacts to it. If on the next 15-minute candle it's not closed below it, it's still bullish.
See,
In this case,
like this one right here is still bearish because it didn't close above it.
yeah.
Now on this candle right here, you might like in real time, you might have been thinking it was gonna close, but then it wicked all the way back down, so still bearish right now.
So you're pretty much just using that 15-minute gap right there to get kind of like your 1-minute bias.
Yep.
Almost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he's gotten to the point, as far as me too. Sometimes we don't even need to mark them because we know where they are. You know, not every. I just do it like for this opening tonight. I have it marked because I want to remember it, because I freshly marked everything on Friday night.
See that? Respected it again right there. That 15-minute. Went back up, respected it again, and now it's starting to dump.
Yeah, I would have taken that trade. That was a good trade. It went right to the middle and then dumped. Because my stop, see, if the 15-minute isn't all that big and you put your stop just above the top of that, you if you lose, fine. You just move on to the next one. But
So
7 out of 10 times it's going to work.
So with your strategy, do you, when you're doing that on the 1 minute, do you actually put the stop at the top?
I put it above the top just in case it sweeps it.
So like on this one right here, would you have gotten stopped?
No, because it didn't go above it.
This candle?
Let me look. I can't see it. Which candle?
Because this is the 15-minute gap right here.
Oh, no. Yeah, right. No. Yeah, no.
And that was this candle right here.
Wait. No, I'm talking about this move over here. Go right. I wouldn't have taken any of those trades until that one. Yep, there, where you had your thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't. Right. So I'm just wondering, because I don't really trade this way. I'm just wondering, why wouldn't you have taken this one? Is it because the 1 minute closed above here? Do you wait on the 1 minute to close or see how it reacts when it gets up there?
I bet. Well, it's still. I don't have the full picture on here. I'm just kind of generalizing, because I don't know what time this is. I don't know when the 15 minutes closing right here. Did the 15-minute close above that? What time is it? That I'm kind of generalizing when I say that. If we hadn't done other things and I saw that, I would, because I'm like, I don't hesitate when I see one of my setups. I just go, and then I'll put my stop 10 points away or whatever that is, and I'll live with it.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, that looked like the best trade. Yeah, I think that was a bull trap.
Yeah.
It's easy to say this because look at the bull trap going up. That where you showed me, would you have gotten stopped out there?
Mm-hmm.
That was the trap.
And
in my mind.
Just so everybody knows, like, remember how I said I marked out this 15-minute down here?
Mm-hmm.
This huge one right here?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so this swept this on the 1 minute, it swept this low right here, and then there was a 1 minute inversion right here, but I wouldn't have taken this just because I want to see it go down and tap that 15-minute gap.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I wouldn't have taken this one here. Just because if you know,
you want extremes. You want to get
Yep.
in extremes. Exactly.
Yep. So like the only thing I would be looking for is a short down to this.
That would be he's being patient, waiting for his setup. He's right. He's absolutely right.
Just because I
Let me ask
know
you this,
eventually it's probably gonna go tap that gap down there.
I'm not saying he's right. I'm saying he's right in waiting for his setup. He's right to do that. And whatever your setup is, you're right to wait for it. None of our setups are going to be perfect. So
when you got in that trade, biblical on that upper fair value gap where it respected it and went down, would you have entered like after it closed underneath it?
I would I probably would have gotten in after it got below it. I would have gotten however many points that is. I don't know. I'm a scalper. I don't hold to price targets. I hold when I see. I always play minis. So if I see I'm up 100, 150, $200, I usually just move my stop into profit and live with what I get.
But when would you have entered?
Like I said, I probably
Just
would have
as soon as it
entered.
went underneath it.
Honestly, it probably would. The slippage probably would have made me get below that because there is no such thing as a perfect entry unless you have a limit order and it happens to hit you. So yeah, that second candle right there probably would have gotten in there somewhere over to the right where you are right now. Over to the right, yeah, I would have probably gotten in.
So after you saw this bull trap and then you seen it come back in here, you had a good idea that's probably going to go down.
That's what I would have done. That's exactly right.
Yep. And then you would have had
how many points is that? How many points is that?
Well, this is still in April, so that's 83 points with a 27 stop.
I would have been ecstatic.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have just taken it somewhere in here, honestly.
You're absolutely right, and I probably would have too. But the problem is we couldn't have because those candles it dumped. It never even came back, did it?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's why we were playing micros. That's not going to happen.
You don't necessarily wait. You don't necessarily wait for it to close underneath it like you would on inversion, like to wait till it closes above it.
No, he's playing the opposite of me. So fair value gaps are supposed to hold. That's the whole point of a fair value gap. They're supposed to hold. So he's playing the thing where he wants this to hold, basically. He doesn't want it to close above.
Show that time frame. Show that time frame real quick in the 5 minute.
Oh, the 5 minute.
So you can see. Yeah, show the 5 minute. I bet you're going to see a lot of wicks.
Well, the 15 minute where we drew the candle, you see a lot of wicks.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So
look how many times it taps this fair value gap.
It fails and fails and fails. That to me, that's a total sign that it's worth the risk. It may not win, but that's a high probability.
Yep. See, would
you have waited till you saw all those before you got in, or like?
Oh yeah, I would have. I would have seen all that because I study the chart constantly. I'm constantly looking for stuff like that.
See, and I actually would have liked this too because look at this 15 minute. You got a 15-minute inversion right there.
That was sick. That was that was an all-day trade. That was the trade you could hold all day.
You see, it sweeps this, it taps into this 15-minute gap right here. Well, I mean, pretty much all this gap, but a gap right here, it taps into it, and then comes down, makes another gap right here, holding the gap, and then boom, down.
Those people on that big long wick got screwed.
Yeah, and this is a great trade also, because like we said, you have a nice clear target here, draw this huge gap right here that you know it's probably, I mean, it doesn't have to, but it's probably at some point in this day going to come to at least tap into this gap.
But in all honesty, I would have been out at that white line
Yeah,
most likely.
Yeah, of course.
For your strategy, Slade, could you have entered on the left there when it swept that buy candle?
Well, this is 15 minutes, so I wouldn't have entered here. You know, I would have had like, I get my bias kind of on the 15 minute, and then I drop down.
Like here, go to that 15-minute again, quick. To the left, where it's like those two red candles that are like
Right
right,
here?
far left, like the farthest left to your screen. So that green wick at the bottom of that, could you mark that as like a liquidity sweep and then enter on an inversion down?
This right here?
Yeah, so mark that as like a liquidity sweep area and then go for an inversion down.
What time was it?
Well,
that's another
if I'm
aspect.
looking for shorts, then the liquidity sweep would be above. So like this would be this would be one to look for a short. Like I was, like if on green candle like on the bottom liquidity sweeps, that's when you look for longs, when it sweeps it and then long. And ideally it sweeps it into a gap like this. You see there's some liquidity right here, and then there's a gap right here. That's ideal.
Yeah.
And we weren't even trading at that time. That was like at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Well, this is 3:45 a.m.
The one you were just looking at? The one going up he was showing you?
Oh yeah, over here we wouldn't have been trading. Yeah.
No. Yeah. That would have been luck.
Yeah.
Because those thin markets, man, that's just true gambling.
Let me see if there was any kind of short on an IFEG in here.
I only trade combines on those anyways, evals, if I'm trading them.
I mean, I wouldn't have really seen anywhere. Yeah, that was what he said right here was the best trade. That right there.
And it's because of time of day. It's because of the sweep above. It's because of the 15-minute. It's because there's so much going for you. If you lose that, that's just the way it goes. You just say, I'm moving on to the next one. And if it sets up again like that, I'd take it 20 out of 20 times.
Yeah, so like if I was looking at this, I would have really been hoping for an inversion play right in here, but it didn't happen. But I would have been looking for one because it would have been hot. It would have been really good. Back down.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Thanks, guys. You guys are teaching me a lot.
Yeah, man. Those gaps are yeah, like he said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like just go back and like he's saying, look for these taps here. Cuz I look for the taps too. I just look for an inversion out of the taps to get, as kind of my entry. But like he's saying, these are really good.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. I'm
gonna peace out of here. We've been in here for a minute.
Yep, I'm about to get out of here too, guys.
All right, well, you guys have
thank you.
Sunday.
Oh yeah,
appreciate it.
See you guys tomorrow. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
Peace.